Hi, welcome to another episode of Prevview TV. So today we have with us Mr. Johnny Chee from Ngee Ann Polytechnic. He is a principal lecturer in biomedical engineering. Hi, Mr. Chee. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions about engineering. So how did you start off in engineering and how long have you been in this field?
Well, I started out in engineering. Well, if you look back, when I look back rather, I see that I had an interest in building things.
Okay.
So it was natural for me to try engineering.
Okay.
So when I chose my studies, I chose such that I moved into the engineering line.
Okay.
That's how I started out.
Okay, so what was your first job that you did in the field itself?
Well, since I like engineering so much, I made sure that I wasn't going into routine maintenance work, so I looked for development work.
Okay.
And that turned out to be a development engineer. Of course, in the 1970s when I started, there were very few development engineering jobs. We were still in the manufacturing phase, so I joined a research company and we started to develop products for industry.
Okay.
That's how I started out.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, development engineering and biomedical, because now you're teaching biomedical engineering, right?
Yes.
So, what's the difference between development and biomedical?
I think it's a natural trend for engineering to be applied across all fields, and one of the fields that you apply to is the human body, where
Okay.
you can build equipment to assist doctors to diagnose diseases and even treat diseases. At that time when I started out, biomedical engineering did not exist in Singapore. All you have is engineers trying to apply their skills onto some biological applications.
Okay.
And of course, in 2002, Mr. Philip Yeo, who was chairman of PDB, he announced that the life sciences is going to be the fourth pillar of economy for Singapore. And then from then on, the funds started to become available, and now there are research funds for people to do biomedical engineering.
Okay, so I gather that biomedical is actually trending now. So, what traits does a person need to have to be a good biomedical engineer?
I think because it is a complex field, engineering itself is a complex field, and biology is another complex field. So the first trait you must have is you must love engineering and you must love biology.
Okay.
And when you combine the two, there's a lot to learn. So it's rather challenging. So the students that take up biomedical engineering has, to me, from my point of view, double work to do.
Okay.
They have to learn all the biological terminology and all the engineering terminology and then combine them both.
Okay, so how long have you been in this again?
Well, when I first started, I did medical application projects. If you want to count that, then that's a very long time.
Okay.
That's 1976 to now.
Okay, so in all these years, have there been any interesting anecdotes, maybe in the field or you as a lecturer right now, or anything interesting that you've learned in your years of engineering?
Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of interesting things, but most of them are very technical.
Okay.
But what I like to say is that when you are young, you have the energy and the time, and it is worthwhile to actually focus your energy and time into learning what interests you a lot, rather than not doing anything, because that lays a foundation for you. So I remember when I was young and we were working in a team, we were all enjoying ourselves, learning and building equipment, and we had a deadline to meet. So we had been working nights, then we worked on weekends, but we made sure we went back. Although we went back late, we made sure we have enough rest. But when the deadline was coming the next day and we had to deliver this piece of equipment to the hospital, we worked through the night. And it was nice fun, but we were getting tired. And finally at around 3 a.m. when we had worked non-stop, we were so tired that we connected wrongly and boom, we see some smoke. And we realized, okay, that's enough, we are too tired. So we went back, took a few hours rest, came back, and then we repaired the problem and then we delivered it on time. That was memorable, but I'll only do that once.
Okay, so if you want to be in engineering, obviously you have to be prepared for anything, come what may. So, okay, what are some parting words that you have for our viewers, like as in what kind of qualities, strong qualities do you need to succeed in this field?
Well, in any particular field, you will need these traits. But I think particularly in a difficult field like combining biology and engineering, you need to have an interest in the area so that when the off days come, you don't dread going to work, but because you enjoy doing it, so you don't mind coming and still doing it. Then you need to be tenacious because especially in this kind of development work, the minute you finish one problem, you're so happy you've solved that problem, and then here comes the next problem, and it goes endlessly,
Yeah.
So I had many engineers under me. Some of them didn't last very long because they thought they were cut out for development engineers work. Now we will call them R&D, research and development engineers. But after a couple of years, typically 2 years, they decide that it's enough. They want something that they don't have to. They want a job where they don't have to face the same problems. Not same problems, face problems non-stop.
Okay.
But the development engineer enjoys challenges and he goes for this kind of work where the problems keep coming and keep solving them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so if you want to be a successful engineer, you have to be tenacious and you have to love your job and enjoy challenges. Thank you so much, Mr. Chee.
Alright.
Okay, well, keep watching this space. We'll have many more interviewees coming up, and stay tuned for the next episode of Prevview TV.